3, 2.
Let's go. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. You are now tuning in to episode 22 of the Off the Menu podcast. I am your friend, your host, Key, here with my brothers, my co-hosts, Moose, Tay, and a special guest, a very special guest, Chayton with Champion Bowling Tour, everybody.
Yeah.
Going crazy.
Welcome in.
No gunshots for him? Oh. On cue. There we go. On cue.
Hold on.
They were coming.
Hold on.
Oh, welcome back, y'all. I'm glad to be back. I missed last week's episode.
Yeah.
You guys got to be my beautiful wife.
And as always,
Oh,
IT technical support in the back. Sifu Ying, welcome back in the back.
and tech support assistant, Maddie.
And tech support
Maddie.
assistant. Bam, 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 bam.
Uh-huh.
Wait.
What are you doing?
Maddie. Going crazy.
And like Keela said, we have a very special guest from Championship Bowling, Chayton.
Yes, sir.
Glad to have you on episode 22 as a special guest. We have a lot of questions for you.
Going crazy.
In preparation of this, the relationship that Chayton has with us is that we actually don't know him. He's actually a family friend. He went to school with my sister's fiance at Granger High School.
Shout
correct?
out Kenny one time.
I actually did not know that.
Yeah.
What year did you graduate? If
2014.
2014.
Dope.
We missed by, I'm 13. So
Yeah,
by
yeah.
a year. Okay. Cool. I didn't know that he went to school with Kenny. That's dope.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I was always trying to figure it out because Kenny would always talk about this guy breaking his golf club.
Yep.
That was
Been
a
there
thing that
before.
Kenny would bring up. He goes, "Yeah, I have a friend. We just go golfing, and he just straight up snapped him." Like, dang, how strong do you have to be to just snap it? I've seen enough in Happy Gilmore. You're like, and Adam Sandler looks strong, but so I always imagined as an Adam Sandler type until
Wait.
we looked up his Instagram.
How did that happen? Did you really break it like on purpose?
Oh, legit. Yeah. It just got a little fried out.
Oh my
The club was done for, man. It used all of its good shots. So,
So you're like,
Had to
screw
get
it.
rid of it.
We're just gonna
Yeah.
break it.
yeah. I couldn't leave it up to my decision, just choice to buy a new club. So I needed to get rid of it.
Ah, there we
I had
go.
to.
There we go.
There's no choice.
Yeah,
That's how you do
You
it.
break, you buy a new one.
Mhm.
Yeah, there we go. But yeah, like I said, we're glad to have you on Off the Menu podcast. We'll go ahead and some questions towards the end. We'll go ahead and just open up the floor, and we'll just bounce off each other from there. Go ahead, Keela.
Yeah. So one of the first things when they had approached me about having you on was they said that you work for Storm,
Mm-hmm.
and something about a Supreme bowling ball.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. I want to know a little bit more.
The story is pretty wild, to be honest. Before I,
That's
they got
hard.
it right there.
That's hard.
Yes, sir.
That's crazy.
What is it? 12 pounds?
It's 12 pounds. yeah.
Oh,
It's 12
Okay.
pounds. I was working as now I'm a video editor there, but before I was a technical customer service representative. So anybody calling in a question about a bowling ball, basically any question that wasn't related to directly buying something would get fielded to me. So we get requests all the time for custom bowling balls. Somebody wants to have a custom ball made, with their graphics or whatever. It's not really something that we do. We have to order them in large batches. So rarely do we have a customer that wants to order it like that. But they sent the call to me, and usually I'm just like, whatever. Like sometimes I'll just send it straight to voicemail. I'll screen the call, but
Yeah.
answered it, and it was this lady saying that she was working with Supreme, and they wanted to do a custom bowling ball. And I was like, holy shit! Like, is
That's
this
hard.
legit?
That's
I'm like,
crazy.
yeah, I'll take your information, but I didn't think this was. I thought we were getting trolled. We get trolled all the time, by that kind
right.
of stuff. But it turned out to be legit. I spoke to the lady on a couple of different occasions. They're like a third-party company that Supreme hires to make all kinds of different accessories. So,
Wow.
whatever, knives, pinball machines, whatever
Hammers,
their typical logo.
bricks, and all that shit.
That makes sense because they just make some random stuff all the
Yeah.
time too. So that's nuts.
Uh-huh.
So they wanted the ball, and some of our to non-bowlers or to casual bowlers, like the cool balls are these ones that have the cool blocks inside them, and that's kind of what they wanted. And went from there. I had to do a lot of legwork to make sure the leadership at Storm and most of the people that work there are a lot older than I am.
Yeah.
I had no
How did that
idea
go?
what. Yeah, it didn't go very good. So
Talking to a bunch of old dudes about Supreme.
Yep, I told my boss at the time, like I said, if there's anything that you do for me at this place, it's you let this go through, Steve. You push this and make sure it happens. And he's like, oh, if it's that important to you. And then
Shout out Steve. One time.
shout out SK. He listened, and Supreme's website's not the easiest to navigate for anybody, I don't think, and especially for him. So I kind of had to. He figured out what Supreme's branding was about, but he was convinced with their social media following. When they presented it to like the president of the company, my boss pulled it up on the big screen with everybody inside in the meeting room. I wasn't actually in there until after the fact because my supervisor's like, you need to come in here and save this.
Wow.
Because he had pulled up, he got lost on the website and pulled up a random shirt. Like said, go fuck yourself, basically.
Which is also Supreme's brand too.
And there's this famous picture my supervisor took of the president of the company just palm faced. And in the background is this jacket that says yourself on the back of it. So I had to go in there and be like, hey guys, like they're a little edgy, but like you guys want to tap into people that aren't directly into competitive bowling,
Right.
this is probably your best option. So if we don't make it, somebody else is going to make it for them.
That's right.
And we want to be the brand tied to this ball. So it went through mostly probably because the money was right. They bought 2,000 balls or whatever the number was.
Going crazy.
I don't remember they bought they're like containers worth of balls. They bought them, and that's good money. That's good business for us.
Of
It's good
course.
business for them.
Always. And how much you guys bought the ball for?
$198.
Yeah. I would say it's around there.
$200
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Not bad. Yeah.
So not too bad. That's about how much you would pay for a ball like this.
Okay, so we didn't get ripped off then, right? That's
No,
just a
I
good
know.
price. Okay,
It was pretty
Supreme would be doing stuff like that. So
yeah, they do. You never know.
Yeah, they print their shirts on Hainties, so
Yeah.
They used to.
but they did.
I mean, their next fall collection is looking mighty fine.
Yeah.
So
they have a lot of good accessories too. That's the one thing I appreciate about Supreme is that the accessories they
always go crazy.
for the community. Yeah, they go. That's pretty crazy to hear an inventory list because we've never heard inventory for Supreme
No.
ever, and the fact that they only had 2,000 balls, and these balls sat for like almost 3 days.
Really?
Yeah, it's because not every accessory sells right away.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Eventually.
Yeah, but let's go ahead and let's get to the start though. How did you end up where you're at? With the bowling stuff.
Yeah. So for most, I would say people that bowl competitively, like I did do, your parents bowled in a league. It's pretty common. Like even my girlfriend's parents bowled in a league. They're not super big bowlers anymore, but they did, and I'm sure a lot of my parents, or if you're a little bit older than me, your parents had some sort of bowling. Used to be massive, bigger than it is now.
Oh yeah,
much bigger
for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So my parents bowled in the league, so I grew up doing it, and then they got me in a league when I was like 3 years old, and then just
3 years old?
3 years old.
Wait. 3 years old?
3 years old?
Can you even pick up the bowling ball when you're 3 years
He was
old?
picking up at 13 at 3 years old and dropping it, like rolling it.
Yeah, they make them like 6 pounds.
Yeah.
And
I still bowl with an 8-pound.
I know, because you can just
Throwing
launch
it.
that thing in there.
so started out and then just bowled competitively up until college essentially, and then I played baseball and bowling were my two sports growing up. I chose to pursue baseball collegiately. And then when I got back from college, I practiced bowling, wanted to pursue potentially bowling professionally, practiced a bunch, then COVID hit. That kind of put a stop to things. Then once COVID started to slow down here, I applied for a job that they had an opening with. I had bowled with the guy that was my supervisor. A couple of tournaments, we made a connection, and the timing was right. Really, I just kind of knew the right person, and it was the right time of my life, I guess. Like the job's pretty entry level that I was in, so it's not for everybody, but worked out, and I did that. And then during the same time around COVID, we have local tournaments, and I used to try to like YouTube vlog them, but I wasn't very good, so I never like made the finals. I made some finals. I wasn't that
Give
bad.
yourself
But,
some credit.
not as consistent as I'd love to. So I decided to like start streaming them Like I brought a camera and like I'll just live stream much easier. Like I don't have to edit it. We'll just live stream it going. And that turned into like live streaming the whole event, and then that's turned into where we're at now. So that all kind of happened as COVID happened. So as much tough stuff that COVID brought, it brought a couple of opportunities our way that have turned out pretty good.
Oh yeah,
that's
definitely.
crazy. So you're not entering the tournaments anymore. You're just in there streaming. What's, going on and
that's kind of what
the whole thing.
What really started to grow us was doing that. We would approach the people that run the tournament and stream it, and then do all of the marketing for them. Basically, we do posts on our social media. We would, we have go take videos of the bowlers, say who the leaders were, make graphics for it, make it look cool. And that's kind of what really started to blow us up. Was we covered a couple of big events. I branched out to. We did a couple of PBA events at some point. Smaller regional events, but we did do them where they had a couple of big names that have quite a few subscribers on YouTube and stuff that launched us. And then last year, we streamed these tournaments. We wanted to have control of the format too. The format dictates a lot of the entertainment value, in our opinion.
Yeah.
So we ran our own event September of last year. It's almost a year ago that we hosted the event. We streamed it. We did, drummed up all the sponsors,
prizes,
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Super successful. We paid out like over $25,000 in prize money.
shit.
First place was $5,000.
That's nuts.
Wow.
And,
how many teams?
So it was a singles event,
Oh, the singles event. Wow.
Oh.
and it was 200, a little over 200.
Wow.
Yep.
Was that here in Utah?
It was. Yep, up in Roy.
That's
Roy.
huge.
Mm-hmm.
And how long was that tournament?
So it's over the weekends. We have.
Oh, wow.
You bowl 5 games of qualifying. We have 5 different. We call them squads. Times that you would come and bowl. So, you bowl 5 games. Last year's 4. This year's 5. We did one in Lehigh a month ago in similar type of format. So, you sign up to bowl a squad, and then we take a ratio of 1 in every 5 entries, and then they bowl 3 more games to cut to 24. In this case, the Masters which is coming up. Our Masters is a 32 person bracket. So we'll cut 40 to 50 people from the main event, like the main qualifying. It's 1 in 5. And then those bowlers bowl 3 more games, add it to their 5-game total, and then we cut to 32.
Wow.
Nice.
That's a process.
Yeah,
Jinx, man. You owe me cookies.
I got cookies in the fridge, dog.
Dope.
That's nuts. So you said you started this 2019, like the streaming part of it?
Probably late 2019, or like right after, like, because bowling shut down, everything shut down. Obviously.
Yeah.
Once it started picking back up, then I would say probably closer to March of 21 or late 2020 when we really. I think March of 21 is when we start. Like we changed over to the Championship Bowling brand. Beforehand, I had like there's this string of events in the North Idaho, Utah, Montana. They call themselves the Storm Northwest Tour, and I created a Facebook page for them. Like I didn't even ask for their permission; I just did it because no one else was doing it. And like you couldn't find information on these events that would happen in Idaho or Montana, so I was just trying to like bring awareness to it.
Yeah.
So we would stream on that Facebook page because it gotten like we had like 2,000 likes at the time or 1,000 likes. So I mean, it was okay, like, not nearly what we are now, but it was something. And then March of 2021, we officially changed the branding over to our own brand and our own company.
Nice.
And since then, we've gotten up to, I think Facebook's at 20,000, almost 21,000.
Going crazy.
Oh, hell yeah.
15K over on YouTube, and 11,000, almost 12,000 on Instagram. So.
Yeah, the bowling community is kind of a strong one because during like right after COVID, we would just watch it all the time. We'd watch professional bowling all the time. I think one of my favorite quotes is by Pete Weber.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? I am. That's one of all-time favorites. That's just this is one of all-time favorites.
So, I do you know any context to the situation?
I think he was down. He needed to strike.
Yep.
And he hit it.
Yep.
And then he was just yelling something out.
Yeah. So the story, like the line's legendary. It's probably it is the most famous thing that's ever happened at bowling. But the story makes it just that much cooler. So his Pete Weber's dad, Dick Weber, was one of the best bowlers of all time, and had 4 U.S. Open victories. Right. Pete also had 4 U.S. Open victories going into this tournament. his dad had passed away a couple years ago, and he needed to win that tournament to have the single most U.S. Open wins in history and pass his dad up. And then to win by one pin, needed a strike in the last ball,
Yeah.
the 10th, and then did it. So
Wow.
the story
That's
is insane.
crazy.
Like, he passed his dad
Yeah.
to be the greatest U.S. Open champion of all time.
And has one of the most quotable, memorable quotes
But
of
now
all
we
time.
know it forever.
Wow.
And there's a rumor now, how true it is or not. I've heard this story on several occasions. Pete, if you know, like I actually have the pleasure of knowing Pete on a little bit higher level than just
Yeah.
seeing him. He's a little crazy. if you couldn't tell, he's a little out there. So he's said multiple variations in this story. One, it was like a kid that was like cheering against him. There's rumor that the kid doesn't exist, and he made it up.
He made up his own competition pretty
like
much in his
Pete
head.
bowls so much better when he's like pissed, and he made it up.
Shout out Crazy Pete one time. Come on, Crazy.
There's rumor that was there's no kid. He just made it up.
Wow. That, you know what, that's kind of crazy because I'm watching this anime right now. It's called Baki. And
literally
the whole,
watching it.
yeah, I was literally just watching it right before you came in. And the whole premise of the story is that this guy reproduced to have someone be able to beat him later in his life. He's the strongest man in the world, fighting different fighting styles and stuff. And eventually he would want his kid to pass him up.
Sure.
And so hearing that about Pete and, you know, passing up his dad and just, or how, and he also does this one thing. It's like, it's a form of shadow boxing, but he creates like a mist of who his opponents are, and they're fake. No one can see them, and he fights them.
Just fighting air.
Yeah, he's just fighting air.
Wow.
So the fact that, you know, you brought the story about Pete, it's kind of funny because it's the same thing as what I'm watching right now.
Yeah. I honestly, I kind of want to believe it. Like, I don't see the kid.
Yeah.
No one sees, like, if you go watch the tournament back, there's no kid where he's pointing.
He's like this. He was literally like this. He would, who do you think you are? I am. And he was like this. And people in the crowd are probably like, what is he pointing at?
Yeah. There's no kid there.
Yeah.
So,
That's a good motivational tactic, though.
Yeah.
It's like,
He's hyping himself.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's how many people get, to that level in any sport, right?
Yeah.
Like, it takes a special, like you need to lock in, right, to get to that point. So, some people are crazy. Who knows what Tiger Woods did?
dialed in. He's just
It's
dialed
crazy
in.
Pete though. 5 U.S. Opens.
5 U.S. Opens, the most.
That's
Shout out
that's
to
crazy though. That's a crazy story that in order to do it, it was literally that strike to pass his dad.
To pass his
And it was probably at the end of it was for his dad.
Yeah.
I think that he was doing the speech.
Oh, yeah.
And then he was talking about how much it meant to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, like, sports just write a story that, like, is hard to make up. Like, it's hard, can't make up some of these things that happen. And that's one of them. And one of the most legendary lines has an even better story behind it.
Yeah. Wow. So and you have a YouTube channel as well. You're like you said, you're about 15K subscribers. We actually went and watched some of your videos. We were watching your hook video. And I was like, man, I can't get it. So the way I bowl open handed. I can't put usually most of the time I can't put my fingers in the holes.
Yep.
Right. And you're using like house bowling balls. More than likely, if you got bigger hands, you're running into
like this.
Yeah, I'm literally like palming it.
why don't you do the two hand? I watched that video too.
Dude, I can't do the two hand. There's that two handed bowl, Jason something or
Belmonte.
yeah, Belmonte. So that guy is crazy because literally he throws his whole body with it's like a whip the way he does it. I'm like, man, and I try it every time, but I can't do it. I'm a better trick shotter than I am an actual bowler.
Yeah, it's tough, man. I that's kind of when I started out doing like bowling YouTube. I was vlogging and doing like tutorials and stuff. That's actually one of our most watched videos, how to hook a bowling ball, which is kind of cliche. Like everybody needs to make that video. It's the most searched thing on YouTube, so it helps the algorithm. But the key, a lot of it is getting the ball custom fit, and I think this is one of the areas where bowling kind of struggles. Is you can pick up like a golf club or name a sport, you can just kind of pick up a racket or whatever and go. It doesn't need to be custom fit for you to go have fun, but. I'm not saying bowling's not fun one way or the other, but it makes it significantly more fun if you can hook the ball, and that it's much easier when the ball fits your hand. So,
That makes sense because, like, a basketball player is going to play with the basketball that everyone uses, or football is, one single thing, but, having a bowling ball is you.
Yeah.
That's what a lot of friends say as well. It's like having your own bowling ball is a unification of who you are, and I didn't take bowling serious until we started watching bowling because all our friends, like, they do leagues and stuff. And I'm just like, man, this is kind of crazy. You guys really spend this much time every Sunday competing against other people, and they love it. Like they would rather spend every Sunday together bowling than doing anything else.
Yeah, that's my cousin. He literally will spend any Sunday that he can just bowling and getting better for the season because he competes too. And he'll be like, check out this shot, man. And he'll be filming himself. And I'm like, I have no idea what I'm looking at, but good job.
That's dope. Like 10, 15 years ago, that didn't happen. And it's exciting to see like bowling. I feel like it's on kind of a comeback right now.
Yeah.
It's a little different thing to do. We have some pretty young kids that are cool, right? That bowl now. They're proud to post about it, like and share it on social media. And I think it's something else a lot.
Yeah, that's like a good feeling too, because that's what the cycle of life is, though. Things come and go all the time, and one of the biggest things that when you bring that up is like comedians.
Yep.
Oh my God!
The end of the '90s was the end of stand-up comedy, and then it was like maybe in the early mid 2000s was like Dane Cook had like one of the best killings, in stand-up comedy
about
ever.
Like 2005, 2006.
Yeah. So and like and same thing with clothing. Like that's the thing that we do here is that. Other than the podcast stuff, we really we run a clothing brand called More About Nothing, and
Crazy.
and so it's a thing that we pay attention as well as things coming and going all the time.
Well, it's like a peak. Sometimes you hit a point where you're more of a niche, and then for some odd reason, it just hits kind of a mainstream point, and it's like it comes and goes all the time. But even fashion trends. Like sometimes we're just all of us are dressing like Y2K nowadays. It's like baggy pants is not in, but now it's back in. Yeah.
And then so you started the Facebook page for the Storm Tour, right?
Yep.
And then you migrated and changed it to the Championship Bowling, which is do you run alone or who else with that? With
me and my girl. We own the company that owns that. So before it was just kind of like sole proprietorship thing, to write off taxes, but we have to kind of protect ourselves with how much money that we take in and pay out now. So we own a company that owns this brand, and we both. She's just as involved as I am. People hear my voice because I'm sitting on the stream, but she's running everything else basically.
Yeah, this is the same thing with my wife though. We call her CEO, tech support, everything that we needed done for this. She makes it happen behind the scenes,
Crazy.
And she got to do her episode last week, and a lot of people got to know who she was from behind the scenes in front of the camera now.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest thing to it all is that having the biggest support system possible. Like we may be the face, like I may be the local celebrity, but at the end of the day, she's the one that holds it down for the rest of us.
I hear that. She does the same and doesn't get as much credit as she deserves, but like it wouldn't be possible without her effort. And now that we've taken on so much more stuff, like it was before just streaming the tournament, and she'd take the camera around and get people's pictures and take videos for us to post on us reels and stuff later on. And now we actually have brought in someone to do that for us, as she's taken leadership over the operations of our whole event. So like helping the tournament volunteers, like training them on how to use our software and getting people's entries, taking money, counting and all that stuff, while I can try to focus on the stream and the competition and rules and stuff. That she's not really a bowler. She gets sports. She's into sports. She's not super into like nose bowling like I do. I've been living in it for 25 years. So I kind of handle all of the competition stuff, the rules, the nuance, the format, and she handles a lot of the general operations.
The business stuff, right? Yeah.
Everything else.
Yeah. No, that's really cool though. That because honestly, when Kenny sent me some questions. Let me go ahead. And like I said, Kenny is the reason we were able to get Chayton on here. So shout out to Kenny and Vanessa.
Kenny.
They putting it down. Like Vanessa is right now, she's our backbone, like along with my wife, because she's been doing all our reels. She's, and she enjoys it. So that's really cool that she reached out to you. What were you doing before the bowling stuff? So it was pre-COVID. You weren't working at Storm yet.
Yeah, I was bowling.
Yeah,
right? I was bowling competitions, and I worked at Discover Card.
Oh, hey-o.
Yeah.
See, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like everybody worked at Discover Card. My
brother worked there.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, my brother Somcha, he worked there. He worked in fraud.
Oh yeah. My mom works there. Kenzie's mom works there. Kenzie's worked there. Kenzie's sister
That's the entry level for everyone before they get into everything
half
else.
Of my friends worked there.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Because Kenny worked there too.
Yeah, Kenny worked there.
Yeah.
Wow.
There we go. That's an entry level for everyone. Then you start the rest of your career after that. Because Kenny had told me a story is that you were working at Discover and then you took like a major pay cut to start your career over at Storm.
Yeah. So what was I doing? I was working at Discover. I started at a body shop. I was doing like clerical work there, and then moved to Discover because it paid a little bit more, and it did take quite a bit of a pay cut and to pursue this. So ended up paying off, but a little bit of a risk. I fortunately was in a spot where I wouldn't have too many commitments. Like the timing really worked out.
Yeah,
it's all about timing.
Yeah, I didn't have a house payment, didn't have rent or anything. I was still living with my parents and stuff like that. So the timing just really worked out.
Yeah, that's good to hear, though. I'm glad to see that where you're at right now. And with all the business stuff too, we were talking about like the bowling stuff and everything. And like I said, we designed clothes, and he was looking up bowling shirts right before you came. He's like, "Oh man, do you think we could do like bowling shirts with them, or could we do like amateur? I want to do an amateur bowling team, and we want to sponsor them and have them go up and play in your league. You guys only do Northern Utah, or
so
you did Lehigh recently?
We did Lehigh. We're in Roy in a month from now, 31 days exactly, and then we're going to Vegas.
Oh wow,
that.
Oh nice.
Yep, so a weekend before Halloween, and then we're going to Reno. So Reno actually has it's called the National Bowling Stadium. It's 78 lanes, giant stadium where they bowl in. So we're into the National Bowling Stadium. That'll be our finals. So we're regionally based on the west side of the U.S. We're looking to expand off that, but yeah, we track mostly people that live out west. Some people that come back east, but people that travel in from Vegas, Arizona, California.
So are you like the commentator on these streams?
Yeah,
going crazy.
Yeah, so
I can tell you got the voice for it,
right?
right?
Going crazy on
I've had to. It didn't used to be like this, like filming yourself in public, like vlogging stuff. It really brings you, like, this is just second nature at this point. When you have to do that, like you're all alone, people are staring at what the hell is this guy doing?
Yeah.
So this is nothing now. Talking like this. So our philosophy behind the stream is essentially to handle it as if I was gaming, right? Gaming streaming is massive. Yeah. So where other sports, like, they get streamed, people basically just completely ignore the chat. Like, it doesn't exist. I try to be much more interactive with the audience. Like, this is for them. So I answer their questions, like try to get them to converse, who's going to win. Like, we talk back and forth and just handle it in a way that, like, feels more like a game, like a streamer does. So it's more authentic. It's more personable.
It's like poker.
Yeah.
When I watch poker, they're always like in the chat room.
Oh yeah, the poker rooms now.
Like the poker room.
That they do it online and stuff on YouTube. So do you guys do it on YouTube now, or?
Yeah. So we used to stream just on Facebook. Yeah. And we've invested now into YouTube. YouTube's monetization is just so much better. Than Facebook. So. We basically just solely do it on YouTube. We range our normal. We're like between 200 and 400 concurrent viewers usually for 8 hours.
Yeah, that's
for 8 hours.
Yeah,
wow.
I was gonna ask how long is that?
We have thousands of watch hours each stream because we have people that like the streams are long and we have people.
You like take tips and shit. Like on YouTube?
we like this business supports itself. Yeah, so we've made some money. We've been able to buy cameras and stuff like that from the revenue we've generated from YouTube. The biggest one. So last January, the Storm Utah Open has like 500 people come, 700 entries. It's pretty insane. They had a couple of big name pros come bowl it, and these guys throw us a bone, gave us a shout out and stuff. Two of the like biggest bowling YouTube channels. They were there bowling. Sick. So we saw, like, I was actually overwhelmed. Like, we've made some adjustments since we have like a night bot that handles and we spam and some moderators and stuff. But we went from having 100 maybe at the end to we had 1,700 concurrent viewers on Saturday. And then on Sunday during the finals, it was bouncing between 2,000 and 2,500. So our chat was going absolutely berserk. We had obviously some people that were not putting things in there that usually I can catch it because there's not so many damn people. But all of a sudden it just blew up. I couldn't even keep track of what was going on. Yeah. And ever since then, like that was an anomaly. That was a really big tournament with some big names in it. But now, like, it quadrupled our normal viewership.
Still keeping up with everything.
Totally. Yeah, we get that one. We had like 30,000 watched hours after it was
that's awesome
on each one of the streams we did. So it was pretty awesome. That's the thing. The advantage that we have is that we're not tied to the popularity of a game or having to create this story. Like, the story is just there. Like, it's just authentically happening.
Right.
And I'm just talking it up with the community and having a good time with it. So like it really is a perfect storm of like, I don't have to come up with a story. It just happens authentically. All I need to do is tell it to the audience. And the only thing is that sometimes it can get a little boring if people aren't bowling good or it just gets drawn out. So that's kind of why we wanted to take over the format of the tournament and make it more exciting for the viewership, which we have. Our formats are quite a bit different from what normally would happen. We do a lot more head-to-head matches rather than like bowling 15 games and whoever has the most pins at the end of it is the winner. So we do a little bit differently. It creates a lot of excitement. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, that sounds exciting. We should definitely tune into that. We should, like,
man.
Yeah, like because I didn't know anything about you or championship bowling until like Kenny had brought it up, and I was just like I said, we were watching a few of the videos, and we're like, oh man, this is pretty cool. Because like I never would think to like go look up how to do a hook, right? Or like the same thing with golf. Like I just go and swing, and then my friends are like, if you want to learn how to go like swing in golf, just go watch people on YouTube. They really just teach you about everything. I'm like, man, that's like me watching someone to go tell me how to shoot a basketball, but that came as second nature for me. You know, I always played basketball growing up.
They got videos on that too.
There are. No, they even teach you in school. They teach you beef, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's how I learned.
So, but no, that's pretty cool that you guys have opened up to such a big community, you know, and especially being here in Utah. Like I didn't even know that Storm Bowling was in Utah.
Yeah.
And that's
I had no idea.
That's what's crazy because we have the bowling ball. We've had the bowling ball for 2 years or so. I think 2 years.
About that.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had the bowling ball for about 2 years now, and no, I never even thought about looking up who Storm Bowling was or what relation that it had to being in Utah at all.
Yeah, so our philosophy also, on top of handling it by a stream, like one of our pillars is like you're not going to want to learn about bowling or even buy a bowling ball without wanting to go.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to want to go if all like the perception for most people that aren't 50, right?
Yeah.
Our parents is that it's just like you just go for a birthday party or to drink with your buddies. Right?
Yeah.
So if we never show examples to change that perception, then you will never want to go bowling. Yeah. And if you don't want to go bowling more than that once a year, then you'll never have a want to potentially buy a high performance bowling ball. So our philosophy is to show this is one side of it. Like you don't need to go to college. You don't need to be part of a team. You could just go and get better. And we have divisions. Like we had this kid that had never bowled a league before like he knew one of the sponsors of the last event. So we comped him an entry because they wanted him to bowl. Didn't know anything about bowling, bought his family. They had a blast. He's coming to the next one. And that one, we're not comping for him. But like, if we just get, like, people like competition. They like competing against things. And it's hard to find like leagues, I guess, or things to get involved with. But it's super easy with bowling. And we try to make it as easy as possible. We show it to you. This is what bowling looks like. Because if you don't know what you don't know, right? So why would you get a ball if you don't even know that this area of the game exists?
Yeah, wow. And the crazy thing is that you bring up competition and like being able to do stuff. Like solo competition does not exist in the world. And like ping pong or like stuff like that or like pool. But I never took in the fact that you can just go solo and just go do competitions by yourself and do bowling. Right.
So that I like team bowling. Like team bowling is really fun to watch because you got the guys hyping you up and stuff. Yeah. And we have some team aspects to our tournaments. Like it's a co-main event is what we call as our doubles. So you bowl with one other partner. But the problem is like someone could bail or like they have like 5-man teams is kind of standard for bowling.
Yeah.
If one person bails, then you're kind of boned, right? So. Or you have to get together 5 people to even before you go to the tournament. So we try to bring a singles competition so that maybe if you don't have a team or can't find one, you can still compete and then have a team aspect attached to it as well. But like you said, there's not a lot of singles competition in any game. Like, and I think that's part of the reason that pickleball is exploding. I don't know if you guys.
Pickleball is on the
going crazy.
Boom! It's shooting up. Her friend, her boss, has a pickleball court in his backyard. And we actually just went to a tournament that he held at his house. Yep. And a lot of my friends, they play every week, crazy. Every Sunday at 6 p.m. Yep. And I'm like, man, this just came out of nowhere. And like, I'm walking through the grocery store and it's like, pickleball, new sport up. And then
they've been saying that for a while. It's huge.
But now it's huge.
It's real big. Like the number one player, she's a 16-year-old girl, Annalie Waters. $2.2 million a year she gets paid.
For pickleball.
I heard pickleball started off as like an old person sport.
Yep.
Something
like
that.
We see it at the rec center.
St. George.
Yeah.
No, in St. George, there's a lot of. That's where we would see a lot of pickleball courts, and who's St. George? A lot of retirees.
People's,
And we would just go out there and they'd be playing. And it's because it's such a fun, easy sport that you can get into. It is not too much work, but there's also you can be really intense with it as well. Do you play pickleball then?
I've gone a couple times.
Yeah.
I haven't really played it any seriously, but so they have their tournament of champions is in Brigham City. It's like across the street from Storm. And
wow.
My supervisor's wife like runs the Parks and Recreation in Brigham City, so she like helps coordinate that tournament. So they just had it like 2 weekends ago up in Brigham, and it's blown up where it's a whole production. They have big Fortune 500 sponsorships. They're on TV now and stuff.
Wow.
And I think a lot of it is one, it's singles competition. Like you can go or you not go, right?
Yeah.
Like if you have a group of 10 people and one person decides they can't come or bails, like it doesn't completely derail the event. You guys can still go. So I think that helps in the ease, like you said, to play it. You just go get a racket and go play.
Yeah.
Wow. It's blowing up. Our model, our 5-10 year plan for what we're doing is to model what pickleball is currently doing. With how they run events. Like we want to eventually transition to where we have like a pro bracket and then with an amateur side happening alongside of the event. So like you're bowling on the same lanes, the same conditions, the same competition as the pros. You're just not competing against them.
In a way, it's like kind of prepping them though. And
exactly.
They're on the same playing field.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh.
Yeah. So like that. That's kind of what we do that now. We have like two divisions. Like if you average 205 or over, you're in a division, or 206 and over, so you're in a division. 205 and under, you're in your own division here. So there's some good bowlers you'll get thumped by. They know what they're doing, but like we try to make it as fun as possible for people. Like this kid that came out in bowler event, like doesn't bowl league, hasn't ever bowled a league, hasn't really bowled a competition. He came to the practice session. He's like, man, I've never done anything like this. Like I don't even know what to do. And I just kind of like, just the only thing you really need to make sure is like you don't cut someone off, like jump them. Like if they're set up to bowl, like you don't bowl right next.
Bowling etiquette, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
That's probably the number one thing. Other than that, just enjoy yourself. And
speaking of bowling etiquette, do you have to wear bowling shoes in this bitch? Like
no,
like,
actually, big question.
Like,
you bowl in Jordans?
Yeah. So my push off foot, my right foot, I wear a Jordan 1. Most like it wasn't even like serious at first. Like I just wanted to do it.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know, to be cool, to be different. And then there's some performance that like it's much grippier. Like when you're bowling, like your push off foot, you generate a lot of your power. You're pushing really hard with it. So if you don't have a lot of stability in it, you get off balance. Like I've slipped before in this foot, and then it's not good when you have like throwing a 15-pound ball 20 miles an hour. It gets off course pretty quick. So you don't have to. You do, like, you don't want to deface. It's like going to basketball. Like you don't want to have like you wear the shoes outside and then go play
like
basketball.
golf shoes. You don't want to wear golf shoes on a basketball court.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you're going to deface the surface. So you, like a lot of the rule, is a rule for it. You have to use the shoes for bowling and only bowling, right? Okay. So that shoe just sits in my bag. I don't wear it anymore. It's a turbo green.
Yeah.
So it just sits in my bag, and then I wear one bowling shoe because I do slide. So you don't have to slide. You could wear just 2 Jordans or whatever shoe you wanted on your left foot. But I do slide. It puts a lot of pressure on my hip.
Sliding helps?
It does help quite a bit. Like, there's a sports science video on this, and it's actually really good, where like the pressures that get exerted when you're trying to throw that much weight, it's quite a bit on your knee, and sliding slows down the like energy that's coming through it. If you stop on a dime, right, it's gonna
the impact, right? You don't less impact on your knee.
I always wonder why bowling shoes are slippery.
About
yeah,
that.
me
Yeah,
too.
what the
I would
fuck?
just like
That's
slide my
crazy.
feet on the bowling.
I thought it was just to look cool.
I thought, the Fred Flintstone. And then he slides. He literally slides like it. So I thought it was cool growing up. Like you watch a lot of cartoons and stuff.
Yeah.
When they're like, then he said the
thought it
bowling,
looked dope.
they have like a mile of sliding. So I thought it was cool. Like,
Yeah.
I guess there's a science to it.
That's
back in the day, these guys used to slide a couple feet. Now it's a few inches, but
Okay.
it does save your knees quite a bit. There are people that do
It's
plant,
interesting.
but sliding is most. I don't know of many professionals that don't slide. Slide, you basically have to slide. Bowling shoes are very particular. Like at the highest level, Like they don't care if they lose their balls on a plane, whatever it is, but they have to have their shoes because they have it set up where like, because some people put more pressure on the left side of their foot, the right side of their foot, more heel dominant, toe dominant, and they have like different rubbers that go on the back side of the shoe that stop you quicker or slower, and the softness of the sole is like a softer cloth so that you stop quicker, or it's harder so you slide more.
Yeah, now that you point that out, I think for long periods of time, you probably do get fucked up. I mean, bro, when I leave the bowling, I like my arms all fucked up and
going hard.
So like if you win one of our events, you're bowling 25 to 30 games.
Yeah.
I'm done after 2. Like my third game after the hour, I'm like, man, I'm just throwing the ball at that point.
I'm just eating cheese fries.
Yeah, I'm drunk and I'm eating too much cheese fries when I leave.
Yeah.
Oh man, 25 games. And that's over a course of a weekend, right?
Yeah. Like we had a kid last year, he took 4th place. It was heartbreaking. This guy. So like our format on the bracket, it's a best of 2, right? So if you win one and lose the next, then it goes to a 1-ball roll off, right? So this kid had lost early on. It's a double elimination bracket, lost early on. Was in his 16th game, and this was the like if he lost, he took 4th place, which he ended up losing. His opponent went and left a 10-pin, right? So if he strikes, he moves on. If he gets 9, they tie and go again. He pockets 7 10s. Like he throws this great shot, 7 10s, heartbreaking. Takes 4th place, bowled 16 games to it all ended there. So he bowled 16 games on Sunday on top of the 10 games he bowled the day before.
Wow.
Jeez, man.
That must be heartbreaking though to go through 25 or so rounds, right? And you get 4th place, or out of the top. You guys do out top 3 and people get paid out, or
so we pay 1 in 5 spots. So if 200 people come, right? That's what is that? 40. People,
yeah, 40.
right?
Yeah.
So we'll pay 40 spots.
Wow.
Okay. So it's like poker, and you're in the money, kind of. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool, actually, because I was
Not
like,
too bad.
200 people, and there's only a top 3. I'm like, man, you get 4th place.
I'd be so mad.
I'm throwing my fist in the air. I'm fighting myself.
we could pay a lot up top with that, but he ended up taking like $1,200 home for 4th place.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
yeah, no, that's
good.
cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
still.
And like I said, if that was a top 3, I'd be like Pete Weber, like in fighting invisible kids and stuff.
I'd be trying my hardest, dude. Oh my
Man, yeah, and like I didn't. So that's pretty crazy because like I grew up a sneakerhead, so I wear a lot of Jordans and stuff like that. We have a little collection downstairs, but I didn't know that there was a science behind like bowling shoes. Like I know every other sport has their own shoes. Like
crazy.
and that's the thing that I don't think about is like there's technique for bowling. There's certain bowling balls is and now it's a whole entire different world with bowling shoes itself.
The rabbit hole is exponentially deep. Like there's no other sport that has as many uncontrollable variables as bowling does. Like legitimately, like the amount of luck that is involved with bowling is it's not even close to other sports. Like you like one that would come to mind is like golf, right? Like you can have unlucky breaks, like you hit a tree or there's a limb right in front of you or whatever, the wind picks up.
Yeah, wind. Yeah.
Whatever. Bowling has a lot of these same issues. Like you could bowl right now today, right? And in your same shoe and slide just fine. And tomorrow it rains and it's 100 degrees right after it rains. It's super humid. And now all of a sudden that doesn't, like it changes the approach.
Wow.
And then that also affects how much the ball hooks, right? So we lay it down, and there's a film of oil that's laid down on the lane, and it's printed like an inkjet printer, right? So you have these machines that run down the lane. It puts oil in these.
Just goes back and forth.
Specific spots on the lane. We can make it harder or easier, right? But the lane's not flat, so regardless of what patterns laid down, each lane plays differently because they're not flat. And it's not by a lot. It's like,
What do you mean?
And so
there's little crowns and dips in the lane. They're not perfectly flat.
So when the oil lays out, it's not gonna be uniform
exactly even.
So the oil will, but
the floor is not.
So
the
if
ground.
the lane is tilted like this, your ball will hook more.
Yeah.
If it's tilted like this, it'll hook less.
That's kind of funny.
That.
It's funny. It's because we bowl. Like we go at Delta lanes, right? And we'll be like, man, this lane hooks different than the other lanes, and I'll be like watching my friends like, what are you talking about hook? And I'll be watching them and where they drop the ball because these guys. The thing about bowling is that you bowl pretty consistent once you figure out how you throw your ball, right? So like we go with these guys, they bowl about 160, 170 every time. We went to Delton one time and they were like at 100. And I was like, why? And they're like, it's because it's not picking up until the end. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I've been watching the ball, and it picks up at the end. It goes, and it rolls, and like it hooks and goes left.
Yep. Huh. And so that, like, not every lane's the same. And then the oil pattern changes. Like the balls are porous, so they absorb oil as they go down the lane and redistribute. So it doesn't all get sucked up into the ball. So it sticks to it, and then the lane's 60 feet, the pattern's anywhere between 35 and 50 feet. So a normal pattern's 42 feet long. It gets to the end at 42 feet and then deposits that oil on the unoiled portion of the lane. And it almost draws the pattern and makes it longer. So in our tournaments, you have to move. Like you bowl one game on 3 and 4, and then the next game's on 9 and 10.
Oh, okay.
So the person who bowled on 9 and 10 could be bowling differently than the person that bowled on 7 and 8. So the way you play 9 and 10, there's 1,000 things that could make you play 9 and 10 differently than you would play 7 and 8. So people in front of you, what ball they were throwing, if the lane's flat or not. Yeah. The machine's not always perfect.
As a bowler, you guys know this going into it, and you have to strategize every time?
Like he said, like most of high-level bowling is 10% physical and 90% figure these things out.
That's crazy.
That's deep. Yeah, once you get good, you're usually pretty consistent and figuring out quickly, because you have 10 shots on a game, right? On this pair, you need to figure out what you're going to do in 2 shots. And you can't see it, right? You don't know what's happened. Yeah. It'd be like standing up to a golf course. You hit a shot on hole 1 and you get par or whatever. You go back to the tee box, and now they change the layout of the hole and cover it in fog, and you can't see what's going on.
Jeez. Wow. Honestly, it's kind of like basketball too, because like there's like dead spots on court sometimes, and you can't dribble over it. Like you lose your handling and ball over it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of crazy to
bowling in your own center. Like if it's a center that you're used to, so like if you're in a court, right, and you maybe know that there's a dead spot there, it's like you have a significant advantage over the field.
Wow.
This pair, 13 hooks, 5 more boards than 14. You know that going in, so you're 2 shots ahead of a good bowler.
Yeah.
So if someone's not as good, right, they may never figure it out that lane's hooking more than the other one, and you do, and then 20 pins, 30 pins in that game, and over 5 games, now you're 150 pins in front of somebody.
Dang, there's a total science to bowling. That's crazy.
What the fuck?
I've learned this more this episode.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's why I actually wanted Chayton to come and do the podcast, because when I had told him, I was like, "Yo, that's pretty crazy." I told him, I was like, "Hey, like he helped Supreme get a bowling ball from his company," and that's all they knew. That's everything that they knew, was other than the fact that yesterday we sent out your Instagram from Champion Bowling.
Yep.
And all the other stuff, and that's when we all start. We kind of go, we dabble with our guests sometimes. We'll listen to like we have rappers, and we'll listen to their music and stuff. But this is like that's just we know music. Yeah. But bowling, we did not know bowling.
Inside this ball, I'm gonna blow your mind again. Inside this ball is like a sphere that's about this big, and it like gets all construed because this is like clear, makes it look bigger. So that's the inside of this ball. Our high performance balls, they're not clear. They have like a chemical formula that creates friction on the lane. So that's one way to make a ball hook is how porous this material is and how much chemical friction it generates when it touches the lane surface. And then within that, this one's just a sphere, but we have hundreds of different shapes that go inside these, and as they rotate, they gyrate.
Oh, yeah.
So they're like, you rotate it off its axis like this, like you take your phone and it's rotating, it wants to get to this point.
Yeah.
So as it's rotating like this, it'll slowly get to this point, and that's what makes them hook.
So it corrects itself.
Right. And so like this shape will hook differently than like the water bottle shape. So this is made to go straight. The other ones are made to hook varying amounts. So that's a whole nother side of the game that you can control. You have to have a lot of knowledge in what balls have the cover stock is what we call it. What ball has the correct amount of chemical friction. Then you can sand it. That basically turns it into like a snow tire. If there's a lot of oil, or you can polish it, it turns it into a racing slick on a dry road, right? And then how much friction does it create? Is it a strong cover stock? Is it a weak one? Is there a strong weight block inside of it? Is it a weak one? And then you have to figure out what happens on the lane and match those things up.
You making this should be an anime.
Like there should be a bowling anime. That would be fire.
This ball, and then it's like,
I'm with it.
You can't beat my black demon ball.
That's Beyblade. Some Beyblade.
That's amazing.
So I won't get too deep into it, but like I said, there is so many things that go into making someone good. And I think that honestly ends up hurting like people getting into it because they just don't like you. If you went and you practiced every day and you got pretty good, like you average 160 or 70, you're going to get just the floor wiped with you by people that know this stuff on top of the line.
Wow. Yeah. That's like elite level. Like, cause like I said, I watch my friends play and very casual tournament, you know, and like I said, 160, 160, I bowl a 60 to be honest. It's because, like I said, most of the time I'm not even paying attention or whatever. I'm just there to hang out with friends and stuff. Like you said, it's leisure, right?
Me too.
So when we go, I don't think about that kind of stuff. But like, what is the insight on a house bowling ball then? Like,
so it's basically this. It's just got a round, very light. It depends on the weight. So the weight is dictated by what's inside of the ball. So it'll just be a round shape inside there.
Okay.
And the outside is made of like super. It's like. It's not necessarily hard, but it's much more durable. So that
so it can last longer throughout,
and it doesn't generate as much chemical.
You should break open that ball. I bet there's a
no,
supreme brick in that bitch.
No, he knows what's in there. Yeah, this is Supreme sticker.
Break that one.
Hold on.
Supreme brick in.
We gotta buy a more about nothing first. So let's go buy one for resale. We can test it out.
Oh man,
how did you get into the like video side of doing a Storm? Because you said you got into an entry level with Storm, right? And you were just doing contact with people.
Yeah, I'm self-taught, man. To be honest with
YouTube,
you,
YouTube University.
Yep,
I just YTU. Let them know.
That's what a lot of we have like guests come in. They say they learn how to do like their editing of their cameras or free beats. Like they get their free beats on YouTube and stuff, and then they learn cadence and stuff. So. Yeah, I guess like, and he's self-taught on Illustrator and stuff. They're both self-taught. I'm kind of like I do the editing for the podcast and stuff, but now it's pretty simple. Like I got it down in like 5 minutes now. I can go downstairs and put it together.
Sure.
And because of our format, like you keep talking about format, it's true. Like you need to have certain formats and things so people want to watch you, people want to tune into you, or like people want to watch you for a reason because like how it's set up, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's a big thing that comes into play with it. So we're going to stray away from the bowling stuff for a little. Kenny says you're a barbecue guy.
Oh, I've been waiting for this all night.
Let's
Yeah.
let's hear. Okay, what is your favorite meat to smoke?
Ooh, I like ribs.
You're a rib guy?
I really like
pork rib?
Pork.
Spare?
I've done spare. I prefer spare, like beef spare ribs over brisket.
I love beef spare ribs, yeah.
Going crazy.
It's just a lot more.
Oh, way over brisket.
Yeah,
brisket takes too long.
Yep. Much more marbling.
Yeah.
Much juicier.
Yeah. No, I feel you on that. And like the dinosaur beef ribs, like every time I bring it over or like we smoke it, they're like, what is this?
Dinosaur beef ribs?
Dinosaur beef ribs, man. Big ass
boys?
ones. Yeah.
Big.
What do you? What smoker do you use?
I just have a pellet grill, a Camp Chef one. I don't know. I don't have the time to mess with an offset or anything. So I honestly like that. That's one thing I was doing during COVID is cooking. Like taught myself how to cook.
Me too.
Taught myself how to cook. And like, there's a time where like that's what I wanted to do. That I wanted to start a food truck and cook barbecue. And
that's literally me. Right after COVID, she bought me a smoker for Christmas, and then every weekend, hey guys, come try this. I want to see how this wood smokes with this type of meat. You know, I was cooking so much, and I was like, man, I think I can do this for a living.
Yeah.
So good.
And I still I cook a lot, but it was smoking just a science of its own. It's a whole world of its own.
And it takes time.
Yeah, you have to be very patient
Yeah.
with it because once you lose your patience with like smoking something, you can lose all of it.
Yeah, the hard part that I found was like once I learned the rubs that I wanted to use, the woods that I liked, the technique is like scaling up.
Yeah,
that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
Like I went and did one of my buddy's weddings. They like catered it for him.
Oh,
like
wow.
His wedding gift. I did it for like half the price of whatever the catering. We did wings. Like wings are super tedious. I never do this again.
Really?
I cooked 800 wings.
You can lose wings.
Jeez.
Yeah, I had to
Wings
cook.
are hard in the smoker.
I had to cook 800 of these bitches, and I had to cut each one in half. So I had to cut 400 wing pairs in half for the flats and the drums, and oh my god, it took forever. But like scaling up is like that's a lot of food. Like you need several people that kind of know what they're doing, and planning out the cook because like the wings take a certain amount of time. They all if you cook them all at the same time, then they all get done at the same time, and it takes a minute to pull them off the smoker and then get them seasoned and sauced. And that was the part where I was like, man, I don't know, this is gonna be tough.
Did you do that all on your pellet grill?
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
I have 2 of them.
okay. I was like, there's no way 800 wings fits on
I
a.
had
Just
2.
right
Okay.
here.
Yeah, I had like a normal like
was like-
24-inch one, and then
Yeah.
I bought like the big tall box one.
Okay, I was like, you're a madman. I can barely fit a brisket on mine.
Yeah, I was kind of wilding out. I bit off more than I could chew. We got it done. The wings are good, but I did like.
That's funny because it's just I actually just DJ'd at my friend's wedding. I'm an amateur DJ now. Like I did it for fun. I literally did it. I started a month and a half ago, and then I put it on myself as a gift to them to DJ for their wedding. And I was like, man, I think I bit off more than I can chew the night before. I didn't sleep till like 4 a.m. I'm like, man, what if I mess up? How are they gonna think? How are people are gonna see that? Yeah, it's like I've never performed for anyone ever in my life. Yeah. Actually, like the last time I performed for someone, we did the whole song for our school.
Okay.
Like the ending when I was
The whole song?
yeah, dude, armpit, dude. I was armpit. yeah.
The rapping part.
Yeah, the rapping part where they're rapping. We did that.
Damn.
Well, okay, and I did Lupe Fiasco, but
That's sick.
other than that, like, but doing for adults though, it's a whole different playground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true.
And the fact you made 800, it was just wings, right? Pure.
No, we made mac and cheese,
Oh, okay,
cornbread.
you guys did all the sides.
Yeah.
You're making me hungry, bro.
So do you actually cook then? Like, or is that just an event? So you have a place where you guys cook, like a restaurant?
Oh no, yeah. It was kind of janky. Like the venue wouldn't let us sit up there, so we found a park that was close because it was like 35 minutes from my house. So I had my dad and my grandma help me with this. They brought their camping trailers so that we'd have power and like a generator and a place to hang out.
Damn, that's dope.
And then cooked them in this park that was like 10 minutes from the venue because they wouldn't let us see in the venue. And we had like a little tent out. I have a couple like camping stoves. They're pretty good stoves.
Yeah.
And like cooking mac and cheese while the wings were smoking, and it was a lot. We cooked like 10 pounds of like uncooked mac and cheese.
Oh man.
So it was a lot. It ended up being like 4 or 5 of the big full pans, full aluminum pans worth. And I pre-cooked the cornbread. That was
But that's something you can do though.
do
You
that.
can that bread and stuff. You can or cupcakes and stuff. Like you can preset the day before for the night.
It turned out good. I was happy. I was a little worried. They turned out good. Everybody liked them. So
is that something you see yourself doing in the future?
So
or is it just a hobby?
Kenzie and I have like thrown around the idea of like buying a bowling center. And part of one of those things we'd want to do is put a good restaurant.
Yeah.
Bro, please.
Solid restaurant inside of the bowling
Not
center.
typical cheese fries and tenders, right?
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like
I'm gonna give you an idea too. You should put a vape shop in there.
Stop, dude. Come on, bro.
He runs his own vape warehouse, so anywhere he can get it.
We'll just send them to you. We'll just send them to you. But no, like twice a month, like do barbecue at the restaurant or something like
that's
that.
nasty.
That would be like if we did it, that would be how we do. Because I feel like we could like DoorDash does really good. Kenzie is like a district manager of Rumby Island Grill.
Oh,
nice.
So she runs 3 restaurants.
So she understands the process of running a restaurant.
So I feel like we could do pretty well with a decent restaurant inside the bowl.
Wow.
That's awesome. That sounds like an amazing idea.
Yeah, that's
I'll learn how to bowl.
What are the top 5 things you would have there? Wings, especially. I think wings would be like number
You
one.
gotta have wings in there.
Well, what would you have on your menu? Let's give a little sneak peek to the world.
Like just the day to day or like the barbecue.
Dude, let's do day to day, and then we'll do a barbecue.
Yep.
I feel like you gotta have like a solid burger.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
And shoot, man,
The cheese fries.
Gotta have wings. Gotta have some wings.
Gotta have the cheese
Some
fries.
like good cheese or garlic fries.
Oh, cheesy garlic fries. There you go.
There it is. Right?
That's the one thing most places are missing right there. Like a truffle fry.
Bro,
you fancy.
we went to Wingers the other day, and Wingers kind of slept on. Like their garlic fries
Bro,
are bust.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Wingers garlic fries are stupid fire, bro.
Wingers
so good.
Wow.
Wingers used to have those deals back in the day, and then they're really good deals, and we would go all the time.
Yep.
And
Wingers
but
sauce.
we would literally get full off just the garlic fries.
Yeah. And their sauce, the amazing sauce,
sauce is so
next
good.
level. It's crazy.
Well, I know where I gotta
Team
go.
dinner.
Yeah, team dinner.
Yeah, team dinner,
Wingers.
right?
We're going there after this.
The service is hit or miss sometimes.
Yeah.
But the food bust. Barbecue, we'd have to have like some ribs. I just like cooking ribs.
Yeah.
I think pork ribs are good. Do some dino ribs. And some wings, some smoked wings.
Yeah.
Like have a traditional wing, right? That you just fry or whatever. And then
Marinating your ribs in like apple juice, Dr. Pepper, Coke.
I don't actually. I do like a dry brine, but I don't actually marinate them.
You don't do a spritz?
Sometimes, usually not.
Okay. Yeah. I don't do the spritz thing. I think in Utah we're fine. We don't have to. I think it's definitely an environment thing.
Yeah, I usually wrap them anyway. Too.
Yeah.
Like put them in, like do a competition style.
Yeah. Oh, so you go all out. You trim everything.
Well, I don't trim it all,
Okay.
but like I'll wrap it. And
Yeah.
Put some sauce, brown sugar, butter in the
Yeah.
wrap.
Okay.
Nice.
Crazy on them.
Man,
That sounds so good.
you gotta let me know when you have this stuff around.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I want to try it so bad.
We should do a cookout together because I love doing that kind of stuff.
Bro, I'll
we-
be a judge.
Yeah.
Man, come on.
Not a judge. No, we just want to cook together. I want to.
Yeah, right.
I want to do stuff where we get back to an environment.
Try all the
Maybe
food.
If you did like a bowling event, maybe I can go help out. You know, I would love to do that. I would like any chance I can get. I cook for whoever I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told Ken's today we got to do some sort of like dinner party thing, like an awards banquet next season. We don't have anything planned this year, but like the bowler of the year, the rookie of the year, youth bowler of the year, those kind of things. We gotta have some sort of dinner. So
Oh yeah, let me know.
Bro, that would
That'd
be
be
nice.
I would love to be a part of
we
it.
have to link up.
Yeah.
Maybe a special guest commentator on the phone.
Yeah, we could.
Yeah.
And that's a strike. I can just imagine Boo Boo just being up there. He's
Going
like,
crazy, going crazy.
There we go. He has his own built-in stuff. He's like,
Shots
boom,
on
boom,
there and shit.
Your viewers are like, why are there gunshots? We didn't come here for the gunshots.
No, is that the road one?
I don't.
Yeah, it's the roadcaster.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think eventually we want to upgrade our sound mixing.
I'll do
for
it.
the live
It's
stream.
worth it.
What do
I
you
know.
guys use right now? Just the
Man,
basic, like.
yeah, it's a basic like Yamaha or Pile
Yeah.
bore input.
Oh no, I reckon this is
this
the
is so
roadcaster too.
worth it.
Like
Oh yeah.
we when we were getting into it, I was going into full detail how we were gonna do this because I wanted to do this during COVID. I thought it was the perfect time, right?
Yep.
And everyone's at home, but you know the co-host here, they were like, "What do we talk about? What do we, what would we do?" And it makes sense. Like, what would we talk about, right? And then I was like, we have to do it this year. Like we brought our clothing back together because right before COVID, we had shut everything down. Everyone went their own ways. All of us have our own clothing brand, so. Early this year, right after our wedding, actually in October last year, I said,
Yeah.
we need to bring this back together. I feel like we had something and we
Yeah.
can bring put the team back together. And
Yep.
I was like, you know what? I'll figure everything out. You guys just show up. And then we
Like
did
the
it.
first thing you bought.
That was the first thing. I was
very
like, we have
first
to get
thing,
this.
Yeah.
We had no idea how to use it, and then we just like opened it up and just started
Yeah.
using the headphones, doing whatever.
I had no idea how to live stream. Like I just looked it up.
Yeah.
That was one camera. One camera turned to 4. then
Yeah.
we needed all the audio.
Oh, you
and
get
stuff.
angles and shit now.
Oh, yeah.
You use switching like camera, like
We have a video switcher. Yeah.
that's
Oh,
hard. We should get that
That's-
too.
It's pretty nice.
zoom in on Boo Boo right now.
Sifu, can you go look it up right now?
Well, we only have 2 cameras, so I didn't. And it's already pointing
we
in our
can make it
direction.
4.
I don't need 4. I don't need a feet cam. But it makes sense for when he's doing live stuff. Like you have you have probably your setup, probably the camera on the bowlers. You have 2 on the bowlers.
We have all 4.
All 4.
Like we'll move them sometimes for like finals and stuff, but we cover from like this last week we were from the 3rd lane to the 18th. So we have 3 through 18. So
Wow.
we can see as many people.
You don't have like that Joe Rogan reaction cam.
I don't. No one wants to see my face. I have a voice for radio. So
Yeah,
face
there
for
we go.
radio, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we had,
Give yourself some credit, man.
Yeah,
You
come
got it
on,
all right.
man.
Yeah.
that's how I feel too, though. I didn't want to be on camera and stuff.
I didn't want to be on camera either.
And then we did it.
Yeah.
But
we
you
are.
know,
That's the thing, right? Like you just got to do it. That like if anybody you want to do something, like the first step is doing it. 'Cause, like nothing will ever make up for that. You'll never go back in time and start earlier. Like
Yeah.
like Ken's is like the realist in our
yeah,
in
there
our
we go.
thing.
Dreamers,
Our
we're dreamers.
You always got to have one.
So like
It's
we
very
had
true.
one
Yeah.
tournament and then I was like we need to do 4.
We got to shoot for the sky right now. Let's go 4.
Hey, you can hang with us, man.
Yeah. You need to be around us. We'll end up at a bowling alley.
We'll
Just
make that shit happen.
30 lanes.
Exactly.
you got to be like, where did you meet these guys? Right? What the hell?
But no, that's she's like, what are you talking? Like, how are we gonna get this PT? I'm like, we just gotta figure it out.
Yeah.
Like we have to do
Gotta.
it. Like if we don't do it now, then we're never gonna do it. Like this, there's no like replacement for
Yeah.
starting now.
Yeah.
Yes.
'Cause whether you start now or not, like the time's gonna pass regardless.
Yeah.
Is that the chef special today? Is that what I hear?
Ah.
We do a segment called the Chef Special where you
Yeah.
just give advice or like I throw out food sometimes. Just if I don't got anything to say, I'll just say whatever.
He insults one of us.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's called the Chef Special, and it's just an insight, advice that
Yeah.
you give people that are viewing and want to try to get into stuff like that.
That's what I saw this quote, and then it hit me really hard. It's like, don't allow the time it'll take to achieve a dream get in your way, because the time will pass anyway. So whether you wait on it or not, like, you'll be in the same spot if you don't act.
Hold on. Repeat that one more time.
Well, we have it recorded. We can just.
I just need to hear that one more time from my brain. Say it again.
So don't let the time it'll take to achieve your dream or goal, because the time will pass anyway.
Beautiful.
There we go.
Don't let it stop you.
You hear that, kids?
Chef special. Kids, adults, everyone.
Everybody, please.
Don't waste your time. Enjoy your time and do what you want to do. Do what you love.
Do it.
What you
Yeah.
do.
You know, and that's crazy because that quote reminds me of I just watched this episode of Shark Tank. And the guy, they were questioning him. They're like, how much money have you earned from your business? And he was like $2.2 million. And they're like, why do you need us? And he goes, I need you guys because I need you to teach him because I don't have time.
Yeah.
I'm old now.
Yeah, I saw that.
And so that quote like relates to a lot of things that we do in life. Is that a lot when you get older, you start to realize you are getting old and you don't have the time that you have anymore. So spend the time that you have now doing what you love.
Right.
Yep.
All right.
And that got us to where we're at, man. It's like my first video sucked. I go back, I'm like, oh my god,
Go check out our first pod and like just the first 10. It's a good one, but it was everywhere. You know, there was no format. There was no format. We had 3 people on it. It was weird. You know,
it was just us 3.
Yeah.
You'll never learn though. Like you don't do it, you'll never.
It's all trial and error, you guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just get in it and do something.
Yeah, those first few episodes, like it took me a while to learn how to edit everything, and then now I'm like, upload, got it done, and I can do it the night before now.
Bro, everything we did, even our first couple T-shirts.
Yeah.
I look at them like, damn, I can't
like
even.
that.
Yeah. I think we're getting towards the end. Do you have any questions for us, or?
You guys should come out to Roy if you're available. Just take a look at what it's at. Like Kenzie and I, we go through great lengths to make it feel much like a heightened sense of an event. Than just showing up with like a pencil and paper and writing people's score down. Like we invest a lot, and we have a 6 foot by 8 foot banner with the bracket on it. We make some special trophies. Like there's a lot of people there. Like you don't like there's thousands of bowling balls for 100 people. There's 1,000 bowling balls in this bowling center. It's pretty insane. So if you haven't,
we might have to check it out, man.
Just come through.
You might look down the parking lot. You're gonna see like a bunch of pink bowling jerseys coming. The party is here.
And like I said, we have a lot of friends that bowl. Maybe we'll just shoot them up there. And
let's do that.
We'll sponsor them to go one of your guys' tournaments whenever you guys have an amateur-ish tournament. We can get them to go bowl for fun. Yeah. No,
I think that would be dope.
This is in Roy, right? You're located
in Roy. Spare time in Roy.
Spare time.
Like Riverdale Road. So but instead of going east, you go west on Riverdale.
That's a hard name for a bowling alley.
Right.
That's actually kind of crazy.
That's so hard.
The bar there is pretty nice, I hear from some friends that spend a lot of time there. They like the bar. But yeah, like we spend a lot of time. Like, and if you can, the best of 2 matches are insane. Like the last one we had, this kid, like they tied with 9. They both left a 10 pin. The next kid struck. This guy got up needing to strike to extend it. We call it a messenger. It's when the head pin comes off the sidewall and goes across the deck to hit the 10 pin. It missed it by like an inch. It's heartbreaking. Like the endings are insane with the format we thought up. So just like it, how in literature there's like man versus man, man versus self, man versus nature, right? We try to really emphasize the man versus man. So it doesn't even matter if you get bowling, you don't have any clue what's going on. Like you will immediately attach to these people. Like they want to win. There's a lot of money at stake,
right.
And
the competitive factor.
That's
what you guys have.
As all hell. So I watch. I'll hang out with you in the chat. You can come.
Let's go.
Take a look at it.
We'll go hang out with you in the chat. That's what we gotta do.
Yes, sir.
You said when is the next one?
September 29th, October 1st.
Oh, we're gonna be in Denver. Yeah. We're going. So we had this thing. We have one of our co-hosts here. He's really scared of stuff like ghosts and stuff.
Really scared.
So we're actually going to a haunted house out in Denver, at the Stanley Hotel where they shot The Shining.
Yep.
And we're gonna try to get their haunted room during that weekend. But no, we will make a team outing. We'll come, like I said,
we'll come
this is
through.
a community thing. So the more things we can reach out to, the more communities we can get out to, and that we can shed light onto as well. We would love to just join any type of event we can. Like I said, I want to go cook with you. I want to go do something like that.
We'll stay posted.
And then before we go too, we got to know, where can we find you on your socials?
Yeah, so it's at Championship Bowling, at _ Championship Bowling. We have a website, championship-bowling.com. We have this event, and then the one in Vegas is the 27th through the 29th, and then we have one in Reno. The streams are on YouTube, Championship Bowling.
Go check everything. Everything will be posted down in the description below. And you said you're at Spare Time in Roy, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want to make sure I got that correct. We will bring a lot of people out there. We'll go have fun, drink at the bar, eat some food,
100%,
and then maybe sign her up.
You ready to go?
She loves bowling though. That's like the one sport she gets really mad at people. You know, because like
I actually have fun and I enjoy bowling.
No, I enjoy bowling too.
Fun,
like if we can go on a Friday night and go casually, but I would love to go check out a tournament though. That's the one thing.
That would be dope.
But thank you, Chayton, for coming here from Championship Bowling and being on episode 22.
Yes, thank you guys.
We'll get to the next one. Peace out, y'all.
Peace out.
See ya.